guys, and welcome back to another Dead by Daylight thingamabob doohickey thing. So this time we're gonna go back and we're gonna hit Pyramid Head again, but something that's a little bit different than what I would normally do. Um, I would normally have a build specific to the killer, but I kind of like this build for almost any killer that you want to have some gen presence on. So Whispers, as always, is a very good perk, whether you're new to the game or whether you're late to the game. It's just a really good perk to see if you're near anybody. But these three perks right here really help to have a massive generator presence. Now, I have not played this build in a very long time, so I might not play exactly like I should with this build. But Huntress Lullaby, if you don't know what it does, whenever you hook a person onto the hook thing, you get a stack. And as long as the hex is active, if you get up to 5 stacks, well, for every stack you get, you have less time, or the survivors have less time between the sound of the skill check and the skill check actually happening. And it seems like, okay, well, that wouldn't be too hard, but it sucks, trust me. And at 5, there's no sound whatsoever. And then you got Trail of Torment, which this is pretty much what brought the build together. This perk was for the Executioner. We're getting a match already. It's very surprising. I never get a match this quick. But Trail of Torment is kind of what brings this together. So after you kick a generator for 16 seconds, you can't be detected. You don't have a heartbeat. You don't have a blood stain. So if you kick a generator and you start walking, then you're like, boom, right there. And then Overcharge. Overcharge helps to really make it so, like, if you have Tier 3 Overcharge, it's a really small area that people can work with, and it's very difficult to actually hit the skill check. Even some of the best survivors struggle to hit the Overcharge skill check, especially if the skill check is early on in the circle. What you could substitute as well, if you really wanted to, you could take Whispers and you can put in Pop Goes, which would give you a plus 25% regression every time you hook someone and you go to kick a generator. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, why would I run a build like this whenever Pyramid Head, if you hit them with the Trail of Torment and the Corruption thingamabobber, you send them over to their cage, it doesn't count as a hook? Well, I'll tell you. The biggest reason why I run it like that is, and especially on Pyramid Head, is because he has such a very good generator presence, and he has a very visual blocking. So if you block off certain areas, so like say you have 3 entrances into a generator and you block off 2 with your trail. Now obviously you can crouch over the trail and get over it, but if you hit the overcharge with it and they blow the overcharge and they see corruption and 1 exit, you can funnel them out that way. But King, that doesn't answer why a lot of people can avoid the corruption now. So what it is corruption, instead of being used to always be able to send people over, and you know, sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't, but instead what you essentially end up wanting to do with it is you want to use it to funnel the survivors into your blade, into you yourself, so that you can use that to like kind of get them into a definite loop and chase right off the bat. Now obviously this build works for some maps. Grave of Glenvale might not be too horrible. I might be able to make it work. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but you know, it works for some maps and not for others, and that's with every build and every killer. Some killers are really good on some maps, some killers are really bad on other maps, you know. But overall, this build can essentially be used by almost every killer. This is one of those builds that, especially if you can have a map presence like Hag or Demogorgon, or, you know, killers that have a really good map presence, you could use this build to really keep pressure on the generators and make it difficult for the survivors to start getting into that end game phase where a lot of killers are lackluster. So we're getting into the match slowly. Maybe it's still loading. It's thinking about it. We're getting there. And thinking. This is the first time that you guys haven't seen me just cut to it, because I've been talking this whole time. It's really rare that we actually get a match this quick, but it's taking forever to load. Thinking. Tot 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 tot. There it is. Okay. So, come on, quit spinning. There we go. Like I said, and for this map specifically, this is one of the maps where you got the breakable doors, and you kind of just want to break the doors. Also, if you didn't know, when you kick, no, Pyramid Head doesn't have it, except for that room. This room helps make it so that they're trapped. You want to kick it after they get in there. But like the new Freddy school, Bedham's preschool stuff, they have breakable doors, and some of those doors you really just don't want to do. But some of them you really want to kind of focus on. Now you might be thinking to yourself, you ain't got Ruin. Ruin is like the end all be all perk of the week, perk of the year, perk of the game for most killers. Well, if you play it right, I know that there's a survivor over here. Hello. If you play it right, you essentially run things better than as if you would have Ruin. Ooh, I missed. I didn't get my blade down in time. Nice. Made her waste the Killer Shack pallet. And she hit the corruption. Man, this Nancy is not running how she should be running over here. If you guys are wondering, I'm pretty sure I've said this in previous videos as well, but one of the things that you really want to pay attention to whenever you're in a chase with a survivor is you really want to pay attention to the sounds, because if they try to blind you, like people try to blind me all the time and it never works. Now, like, see here, there was no stack on Huntress Lullaby right there, as you can see, which is okay, because they don't they might know that Huntress Lullaby is happening. Ooh. These survivors are kind of doing the bads here, getting hit with the corruption. And if you guys didn't know, whenever you're hit with corruption, you actually cannot. Whoa! I just bounced. Jesus Christ! You see that? I'm bouncing over the whole thing right there. But I don't even remember what I was saying right there. There we go. Now we know that there's somebody back up on the guillotine because the overcharge went off. Guillotine? Hangman's Noose. Whatever it is. Oh, I missed it by that much. She moved a little bit too far away. Hi. See, now, I'm not putting down as many trails as I probably would normally, because this is a bit more of an open map. This works a little bit more for closed maps. But another thing with Pyramid Head, I guess this is, you could say this is like a Pyramid Head help plus a regular, like, just gen pressure build. Another thing with Pyramid Head is, oh, he's the one who's got corruption. Where'd you go? There you. You really gotta be mindful of where survivors go, and like, you don't want to put your trail to where. Oh, good dead hard. You don't want to put your trail to where it's too close to a pallet or anything like that, because it will actually disappear. If you're near a chase breaker or a pallet, a chase breaker or and she ran into it. Damn, these guys are doing more Trails of Torment than I think I've seen in a long time. But okay, she disappeared. Oh, she went over here. That's why. And then she buggered out. I didn't even realize that was a thing. Hi. Generators, lockers, all that makes it very difficult for the trail to stick by. That's what I've been trying to say. So, like, if I put this trail right here, it will disappear rather quickly. As you can see, it's already gone. The outline of it is already gone because I put it right next to the generator. It's gone. So you don't want to put them right on top of stuff. You kind of want to just block off an area and keep it a little bit of a distance. You know, like right here, it's kind of broken up a little. Let's see. I've got some people. Nobody's hit the trails recently. I've only got 1 stack on Huntress Lullaby, but if you guys haven't been able to tell, I've been able to keep a lot more gen presence on these guys because all I've been doing is just kicking their gens, getting undetectable, and then finding where they went to. Another big thing that I think a lot of people overlook whenever they're becoming a killer, whether you're trying to learn how to become a killer or whether you're trying to get better as a killer, one of the things people overlook, ooh, she went to the left, is paying attention to the crows. The crows help out a lot. Like, I knew where the one person was because I saw them activate a crow. Like, I saw the crow disappear in the air. So you want to pay attention for those as well. Here we go. Let's get another Huntress Lullaby stack. And Huntress Lullaby helps this build out a lot, but you don't necessarily need it. You could actually substitute Pop Goes for Huntress Lullaby if you wanted to keep Whispers. So that's another thing that you're able to do if you would like. Let's see. Block off that door right there. We got a friendo back there, but I know the guy is still back at that generator, which is fine. We'll be able to hear whenever he hits it. Now, obviously, you know, some people do hit the overcharge skill check, and it works out for them, but a lot of people miss the overcharge skill check, and banking a build on the overcharge is a little risky, but it works. Like, now, see, I just saw the crows over there disappearing, so I know that they're running back to that generator. You know, that's what I mean about paying attention to the crows, is that whole, you see them go into the air and disappear. They kind of gave a very visible, very yellow and orangish tint to the disappearance of the crows. Hi, Dwight. Yeah, now see, he didn't want to get the corruption, so he's now running in this direction, which we've already broken the chase breaker over here. Ooh. I'm pretty sure he may have dead-hearted that one. Nope, that was... Oh! That should not have hit you. I apologize, but I'm going to take it anyway. Pretty sure there's nobody around there, buddy. I'm sorry. Yeah, there you go. Overcharge skill check on that one. I know they're over there. Another thing that you want to try to do with this build is you want to try to force them to 3-gen themselves. That's usually a good play in general with any killer. But, yeah, there we go. See, now Huntress Lullaby is really getting into play because of how many stacks I have on it now. They blew both of these gens, and I never kicked this one. Kick this one, get undetectable, and go over to this one, which is the one they were working on originally. They did a pretty good job at making sure they didn't 3-gen themselves, so I gotta give them that. But the positionings of the generators, if I can get them to complete that one, I'm fine with it. The one up in the saloon. Ooh, we might get the Dwight kill here. I don't think anybody's gonna be able to go over and save him. Now, obviously, Trail of Torment has a cooldown. You're not able to do it every time. Hi, you're not that hidden if I run into you. There we go. And the Dwight is dead, ladies and gentlemen. So like I said, it's all just about keeping pressure on the generators. And Nancy over here trying to get a flashlight save like she's going to be able to achieve something over here. There's tier or 5-stack Huntress Lullaby. 2 survivors killed. Nancy's around here somewhere. They haven't even started working on the saloon generator. The reason why I want them to leave this generator alone, which they're not even near, is because that has 1 way in and 2 ways out. So if I can block the 1 way in as soon as I know they start going to it, it makes my life a whole heck of a lot easier. There we go. They're over here. Ooh, moved away. Let's see. Got rid of my totem. They were over here. Maybe one upstairs, maybe? Yep, one upstairs. Hi, Nancy. The nice thing about Red Dog Saloon, or yeah, Red Dog Saloon, whatever this place is, I think it's Red Dog Saloon, is you can very easily, like, anti-loop. I thought she was gonna go back through the window. Here she goes. Ready? Hi. A lot of the pallets aren't very safe for survivors, and so it makes it a lot more difficult for them to be able to use them. Oh, they used a key to get out. Wow. They were like, Nancy, nah, we out, fam. Yeah, so that is a build that works really well with most killers. Oh, here's a hatch too. It works really well with most killers. It allows you to have a lot of pressure, a lot of gen pressure. You have to be very mobile though. If you're not very mobile, then it actually makes it a little bit more difficult because you don't have a lot of like Devour Hope or something like that that will allow you to have that end game. You have to try to keep it in early game for as long as possible. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this enjoyable, and let me know what other kind of builds you would like to see in the future. Let me know if you want to see a specific killer and a good build for that killer specifically. This is the build that I use for Pyramid Head. I don't run any other build with him because I'm not a big fan of certain other builds with him. But I do have builds for pretty much every single killer in this game. So if you want to see a specific killer and how I play them, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see all of you guys next time. Bye, guys!